Hi, I'm Breeyn, Senior Vice President of Education and Teaching Strategies. I am so excited to get to unbox our newest print materials created especially for teachers and caregivers implementing the creative curriculum for infants. The curriculum's print materials arrive in two plain brown boxes labeled Box 1 and Box 2. Let's get started with what you'll find in Box 1. This is the storage box that's in Box 1. Oh my gosh, look at all of these beautiful baby faces. Oh, goodness. Okay, so I know you're going to want to dive right in, but first, before you open any of these materials, I want you to look at this first. It says Start Here. You may have already found it because it's one of the places where the QR code leads you to this video. But also in this document, you'll get a high-level picture of all the components that are included in your new curriculum. You're going to see that in this storage box are two smaller boxes that were designed so you could easily see and reach what's inside. The back of the box identifies what's in each of the boxes and includes this handy finger hole that will help you remove them from the larger storage box. I'll start with this one first here on the left. You can see that this first box has several books inside, and I'll start with this one. This is your curriculum guide. The curriculum guide is just what it sounds like. It's guidance about the curriculum. It's less than 100 pages long, but there's so much packed into it, from how to work with children's families to understanding how children learn best. Spoiler alert, it's through positive relationships and active play. Our team of authors here at Teaching Strategies, all former educators ourselves, work to be as thoughtful as possible, both in terms of the quality of the content, but also the quality of the organization and presentation of the content, because that matters to you as teachers as well. We've made it so easy to locate each of the chapters with these handy organizer tabs labeled with each chapter name. I recommend you begin with the curriculum guide by reading through the section titled Implementing the Creative Curriculum. It's actually near the back of the guide. It starts on page 75, but offers so many tips for helping you get started. Another really helpful section is called Creating a Responsive Environment, and that starts on page 58. And is going to help you get your room set up, create your weekly schedule, select and display materials, all the things for an environment that promotes development and learning and helps everyone feel safe, welcomed, valued, included, and cared about. After looking through those two sections, flip through the rest of the curriculum guide or check out the table of contents in the front to note which other sections you want to take a look at next. You're going to want to return to it over and over again. So I recommend keeping it handy along with these other materials. My advice is if you're not currently using it, just keep it right here in the storage box so you know right where to come back to it. Also in Box 1, you're going to find your 3 teaching guides. The teaching guides are numbered 1, 2, 3. Each teaching guide is divided into 4 sets of monthly plans so that with the 3 teaching guides, you have an entire year's worth. Each month's plans have been created with a certain developmental theme in mind, but these themes aren't geared toward any specific month or season, so you can implement any of the plans at any time of year. So while we recommend that you begin with month 1 of Teaching Guide 1 and work your way through them in order, you don't have to if another order feels right for your program. Just like the curriculum guide, the teaching guide includes handy divider tabs so you can easily find each month's plans. I suggest that you take some time to look through at least the first month of plans before you start implementing the curriculum and work on becoming familiar with what the plans cover and how they're organized. The plans are laid out the same way each month. You'll see an introduction to the month's theme and a section with frequently asked questions. There'll always be a QR code there so you can scan to view a short video with more information about the month's theme. On the next 2 pages, you'll see the monthly at a glance, which is like a chart with a quick overview of the month's plans. Across the top, you'll see the chart is divided into 4 weeks, and down the left side, you'll see the different times of day. On the right side margin is another QR code that leads to a video about some aspect of the plans. I encourage you to view these 2 videos, the one here and the one at the beginning of each month's plan. They're really short, like no more than 2 minutes each, but they are super helpful and full of ideas and information. This video that you're watching right now, this unboxing video, is by far the longest of the videos in all of these materials that you can access through QR codes, but there are a lot of them. In fact, you're going to discover a couple hundred QR codes included in your curriculum materials, and many of them lead to these short videos, all created specifically to help you in your work with infants. They're all feature different educators and are intended to give you just-in-time insights to best set you up for success. I think you're really going to love all these little nuggets of advice and insights that we've included in our curriculum materials, and I encourage you to watch all of them. Okay, let's get back to the teaching guide. After the at a glance, you'll see each week's plans described in detail. 4 weeks of plans, and then you'll get to the next month. 4 months here in Teaching Guide 1, 4 months in Teaching Guide 2, and 4 months in Teaching Guide 3. That's 12 months of plans right here in these 3 books. Once you've completed your year's worth of plans, you can go back to month 1 of Teaching Guide 1 and start all over. Another thing I want to show you that you'll find in box 1 is this organizer. Oh, I love this thing. It's a hardback spiral-bound book with these clear pockets where you can insert the skill development cards that each child is working on. We'll get to the skill development cards in just a minute, but for now, I want you to know that this is where you'll be able to keep all of the current skills in one place. The pages of the organizer are color-coded, just like the skill development cards, and you'll have 4 pockets for each type of skill development card. You may not need all of the card pockets at any given time. It just depends on how many different skills the children in your class are working on. You can see here you have these pocket pages where you can insert the orange colored cards for social emotional development. When you no longer have any children working on a specific skill, you can return the card to the box set and add the next skill development card in the organizer. This makes it really easy for either you or other adults who care for children in your class to know exactly which skills each child is working on. One last thing I'll show you that's in box 1, it's actually inside the front pocket of the organizer. It's this booklet called the Foundational Skills for Infants and Toddlers, and I consider this to be an absolute treasure. This is a super helpful document that I recommend you keep right here in its pocket in the organizer so you'll always know where to find it. It's a really handy list in developmental order of the entire sequence of skills covered in either the creative curriculum for infants or the creative curriculum for toddlers. It's color-coded in the same way as the organizer and the skill development cards, and the skill numbers here are the same that you'll see on the cards. So again, this is a really handy reference document. And it's bilingual, English on this side and Spanish on the other. I'm going to keep this organizer here next to me because I'm going to come back to it in just a few minutes. Whew, there's a lot packed into just box 1, but there's also a second organizer box, so let me get that out to show you. Here is one of the most joyful things we've ever included in our curriculum materials. It is an absolutely delightful set of children's books just right for sharing with infants. My gosh, aren't they beautiful? They're from our trusted partners at Barefoot Books. They are a part of what they call their baby-proof book collection. They call them baby-proof because they're pretty much indestructible, but I like to think of them as baby-perfect because they really are just perfect. It says right here on the cover that they're chomp-proof, rip-proof, and waterproof, but they're also really delightful, beautifully illustrated stories. Look at this. Look how beautiful these are. I think you're going to absolutely love these. The set of Barefoot books arrives in shrink wrap, and they're in the order that they're mentioned in the teaching guides, 1 per set of monthly plans. So month 1 of Teaching Guide 1 will reference the first Barefoot book titled Baby Dream. Okay, let's set all of this aside, all of this from box 1, except for the card organizer binder, because there's also a box 2 for us to look at. You'll notice right away that what's inside box 2 looks quite different from what's inside box 1. There are still 2 organizer boxes inside box 2, but they look more like recipe boxes and are perfectly sized to store the 2 types of materials you're going to find in box 2. This is the box for your photo cards, and here are your beautiful, visually stimulating photo cards. They're printed on heavy paper and covered in a heavy-duty lamination so that they're super durable and you can easily wipe them clean after little hands have been holding them. On the back of each card, you'll see the name of what's pictured, written in both English and Spanish, and you'll see that we've numbered the cards to make the identification and organization easier. Throughout the teaching guides, you'll find recommendations for using specific photo cards. I recommend that you store them here in this sturdy box so you always know where they are when you need them. Okay, so that's it for photo cards. This box is for your skill development cards. Skill development cards are an absolute game changer for anyone who works with infants. These are color-coded by area, just like the organizer and the list of foundational skills that I showed you earlier, and are numbered in the order of the developmental sequence for each of the areas. When you first open them, you'll see that there's this blue cover card with a little explanation of how the skill development cards work and a QR code that you can watch a short video to learn more about about them. Then you'll see the social emotional skills list, taken from the larger booklet of skills that I showed you earlier. This one, like all the skill development cards, is printed on really heavy laminated paper so you know it's durable. And here's another QR code, which leads to a video about how you can promote children's social emotional development. Then you'll see the cards themselves. The infant's curriculum covers social emotional development skills numbered 1 through 29. If you look at this sequence of skills, you'll see that skill 29 is not an expectation of children until they're about 20 months old. So if your classroom is for children who are 12 months and younger, it may be that you never get to these later skill cards, but that's okay. We've included them just in case. The first card you'll see is numbered SE01. The SE stands for social emotional, and the 01 tells you it's the first skill in the developmental sequence. The point 1 tells you that this is the first card for skill 01. Sometimes, but not always, there are cards numbered point 2 or point 3, which just means that there are different ways of supporting the same skill. However, always, when you see a point 1 card, that means two things. One is that it's a newly introduced skill. The other is that there'll be a short video available to tell you more about that skill. Every card number that ends in point 1 will have a QR code in the corner, which will take you to a video. These videos are super helpful, and again, I encourage you to view as many of them as you can. Another important reminder is that when a child enters your program, they may or may not need your support in working on skill 1.1. They may be a little older and already ready to work on a later skill. The entry screener is going to provide you with all the information for where to start for each child and each type of skill development card. There's a packet of dividers that you'll use in this box, which is where you'll keep the skill development cards that aren't currently being used in your organizer binder. Let's go back to the organizer I showed you earlier. The front page in the organizer is orange. This is where you'll store the social emotional skill development cards that the infants in your class are currently working on. You'll repeat the process for the skill development cards in the other areas. You have cards for skills 1 to 43 for physical development, those are green. You have skills 1 to 38 for cognitive development, which are pink, and the blue ones are for skills 1 through 37 in language development. Once you have the skill development cards unwrapped, you can place them and the dividers into the lidded storage box. I do highly recommend that you keep them in the box when they aren't needed in the organizer binder. Store them in here by area and in numerical order, and you'll always know just where to find the next right thing for each infant in your care. One last thing I need to point out is that, of course, you also have many digital resources. In fact, the curriculum guide, all 3 teaching guides, the photo cards, and the skill development cards can be found in the library area of SmartTeach. You should have already received a welcome email from Teaching Strategies with your unique user login to the SmartTeach platform. So if you haven't already done so, I highly recommend you go ahead and log in and start looking around at everything that's available to you there. As I mentioned, those of us that design these tools are all former teachers ourselves, and we had your unique needs in mind in every detail, including truly transformational digital recommendations and planning tools that will work to ensure you are fully supported in offering each child just what they need next. The Start Here document that we looked at the top of this video has QR codes that will help you learn more about SmartTeach and the entry screener, which is available in the Teaching Strategies Teacher mobile app, in which you can download for free using, you guessed it, the QR code right inside of here. The QR codes will take you directly to the app download in either the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. Thank you for viewing this unboxing video. We can't wait for you to get started with the creative curriculum for infants. And we invite you, once you've logged into SmartTeach, to head on over to the Hub, our professional learning community, to ask questions of our experts and mentors, connect with other infants teachers, and share with all of us how you're using the creative curriculum for infants.